Hello traders, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Eddie, your FX Achiever Mentor. In this video, I'm just going to be showing you a simple trading strategy if you are trading gold. It's a profitable strategy for those people who are interested in making money instead of blowing their accounts. People who want to make money, they can follow this easy strategy. As you can see now, the date is currently the 25th of December, and on here, on this blue line here, this is where I usually begin my trading session. So what I do is, before I begin trading, is I mark the highest points that needs to be broken, or which has a possibility of getting broken on our next session, or during my session. So what I do is I use this arrow here. It's a tool. You can just use this arrow here like this, and because I've actually placed everything, there's no need for me to repeat myself. I'm trying to move as quickly as possible on explaining what I do in terms of becoming profitable. So what I do is I pay attention to the highest point and then the lowest point, and then during our session, as you can see, there's a new high. But because this is an internal high, I do not pay attention to it. And what I wait for is I wait for another break to the highest point, and I continuously look for the break to the highest point until I finally get the break to the lowest point. And as soon as I get the break to the lowest point, what I do is I place a trade immediately. As you can see, this was the lowest. As you can see here, this was the lower low, and there is a change of character here, which means we're no longer going to the upside. And what I do is I place a trade here, and I usually use a risk to reward ratio of 1:2.3. I actually don't want to zoom out a bit. I'm just trying to explain this as much as I can. So what I do is I wait for the red candlestick to start breaking the lows, and then I place a trade here, and I just watch my trade to see if it's gonna go to TP1, TP2, and TP3. On all of my trades, I ensure that I have TP1, TP2, and TP3. So as I'm scrolling further on this one, it was a bit consolidating. It was consolidating a bit, and as you can see here, this was my TP1, and you can see TP1 was hit successfully. TP1 hit, and what I do is I actually have a spreadsheet on which I record everything. I'm just gonna show you in a bit now. Okay, as soon as I take a trade, you can see here I took a trade at 10:03. Then what I do is I go to my spreadsheet and I place, because it was on the 26th. This was the 26th of December, and the time on which I took the trade was 10. What time was it? 10:03. We can say 10:03. And I actually had like TP1, TP2, and TP3. So my TP1 for this, I can say it was $60. I can say $60, and then I'm gonna have to wait and see if I'm gonna reach my TP2. Scrolling further, I use this strategy only for gold. I don't trade other pairs. And as you can see here, this here was TP2, and you can see TP2 was hit successfully. What I do is, okay, let me just rename this one here. TP2 was hit successfully, and actually TP2, we can say TP2 is actually 2 times TP1. So if TP1 was 60 bucks, then it means on TP2 we had another 60 bucks times 2, which is another 60 bucks. And then scrolling further to check if TP3 was hit on this day. And actually this strategy enables you to avoid over trading, because what I do is on a daily basis I take like 2 trades per day, and I only take 2 trades only if my first trade was not successful. But if my first trade was successful, then trade number 2, there's no need for me to trade for the second time. I just leave the markets and wait for another day. And then as you can see here, as I'm still busy waiting for TP3 to get hit, I get stopped out. So this is a loss. And in terms of my loss here, in terms of the losses, this portion here is actually equivalent to 50 rands. So I can say I lost 50 rands on this trade. So on this day of the 26th, Tuesday, I made a profit of 130 rands. So initially I deposited 1,000. As you saw, there was 1,000, and then now I'm sitting on 1,130, which means I made a profit of 30 rands on the 26th. Then we continue. After being stopped out for the day, I don't look for other trades because I made some profits. There's no need for me to overtrade. And then on Wednesday, the second day of my trade, the 27th, I do the same process again. I wait for the breaks of the highs, and I check if the lows are getting broken. The lows are not getting broken. You see here the high is getting broken. This higher low, we do not consider it because it's below this highest points here. So there's no need for me to pay attention to this high here. And as you can see, the lows are not getting broken. This spike doesn't mean that this low is broken, unless if we get a solid candlestick here, then it means our low is broken. So far we don't have a solid candlestick here. We only have a wick. So a wick is not considered a break, and you can see price continues to go up, and it continues to break the highs. It continues to break the highs. What I wait for is the first break of the lows, and as you can see here, this was the lowest point. It's got broken, and immediately as it gets broken, you can see it was broken by this candlestick here. As soon as it gets broken, the next candlestick I enter, and as I've entered here, you can check TP1 was hit here immediately. This was our take profit number 1. You can say TP1 was successful, and I entered the trade at around 12:06. So it's another day, 12:06, and TP1 was hit, which means we have 60 rands for now, because we're still waiting to see if TP2 and TP3 are gonna get hit. So as we continue scrolling further, we see the trade is actually not favorable. It's not really favorable, and then we get stopped out. So as soon as I get stopped out, since my TP1 was hit, I don't pay attention to the other things. I just consider that at least TP1 was hit, so I'm gonna try to trade another day, the following day. So for the day, it means, because we have like 3 TPs, it means I made a loss of 50 rand and 50 rands. So in total, cause my first TP was hit and we gained like 60 rand, and then after that we minus 50 and minus 50, because I placed 3 trades at the same time, which means on this day, on a Wednesday, I made a loss of 40 rands. And then I go to a Thursday. I go to a Thursday and I'm gonna try on this other day to see if I will be able to catch some profits. I do the same process again. I check for the last high and I check the last low, and I check on this low. This low was never beaten. It was actually beaten by a wick, and then we disregard this low here, and we're now considering this wick as the new low. And then on this new low, you can see it doesn't get broken by a solid candlestick, so it's being wicked out to a new low. So we don't enter when price comes up here without giving us a solid candlestick. And this high here, we don't consider it because it's below this high here, and we continue to look for our real breaks, because what we look for are the real breaks. This one was a wick, so we don't consider it. But here, as you can see, this one was a real break. It was a real break. As you can see, a solid candlestick came and it printed a solid candlestick here, and now we consider this a break of structure. Then I placed an entry, and as I placed an entry, I consider all of my positions, and I enter a position. Position number 1 is for TP1, which was hit successfully, and position number 2 was for TP2, which was also hit successfully. As you can see here, TP2 was hit successfully, and position number 3 was for TP3. As you can see, TP3 was also hit successfully. So according to my rule, if the first trade was successful, if the first trade is successful, then it means I should stop trading for the day. I will have to wait for another day and look for my trading opportunities to see if I can make a profit, because if I trade further, it will be like I'm over trading, and all the profits that I managed to make today is probably gonna go to a loss. So as you can see here, the trade started at around 929, and all TPs were hit. So TP1 was 60, and then TP2 was 60 plus 60, which is 120, and TP3 is actually literally 60 times 3, which is 180. So on this day I made a profit of 360, and then after that I no longer take any trades. I focus on the next trading session or trading opportunity, because here the market decided to give me this much profit and I was able to make a lot of money. So there's no need for me to play some more trades and be greedy, because as soon as I enter some other trades here, there's a possibility that it might go a wrong direction, and I could probably lose all of the profits which I've already made. Even though it went downward favorably to the downside, it's fine. There's no need for me to FOMO it. And then I look up to trade another day, and here it was a Friday, 29 December. As you can see here, Friday, 29 December. I'm also searching for opportunities. I do the same procedure again, do the same thing over and over again, so that you can try and be consistent. What I see is I mark the higher high, which got recently broken before I went into my trading session at 8. All of my trading sessions begin at 8 a.m. every single day. So I watch the markets at these times to see if their highs will be broken, and check if there will be any lows which are broken. So as you can see, no low is being broken. This low was never broken, and price came and respected this low again, and then it broke this high here at this point, and it continued to create a new high and then a new low. As you can see here, this is a new low here, and as I am busy watching the price, this high is not getting broken, and then finally here at this point, price came to break this low here through this candlestick pattern here. Through this candlestick pattern, it then broke this low, and the next thing what I did is I took a trade again, and I placed 3 positions as always, because that's part of my trading. And most of the time I actually I prefer trading one direction, as in I prefer taking the sells instead of buying and selling, because eventually the markets will go up and down, and whatever it gives me, whenever it goes down, then I'm gonna take whatever the market gives me. And then on this session you can see TP1 was hit successfully. You can see TP1 was hit successfully, and then TP2 also got hit successfully. You can see TP2 here was a success. TP2 was a success, and TP3, I'm not sure about TP3. Before going further, let me type this TP3. Before going further, let me check the time on which I entered the trade. I entered my trade at 09:51 on a Friday, 09:51, and then it was Friday the 29th, and then TP1 got hit successfully, TP2 got hit successfully, and as you know, TP1 is $60, TP2 is 120, and now we are still waiting for TP3. So as I am still waiting for TP3, let me check how the trade went. And at this point here, you can see it nearly came to TP3, but it didn't hit the TP3, so it's fine. Let's proceed and see to see if TP3 was hit successfully. Finally, TP3 was hit here. As you can see, TP3 was hit successfully, and which means we made 180 plus 180, because it's 60 times 3, 180. 60 times 2 is 120, and 60 times 1, TP1 is 60. That's how it goes. And I made, on Friday I made another 360. For the week I made it a total of 810. And depending on your lot size, as you can see here, the grand total, I started my trading because I didn't get an opportunity to trade on a Monday. So my trades began on a Tuesday, as you can see here, and I had a budget or an account of 1,000 rands, and the trades which I took actually gave me a profit of 810. So with this strategy, you stand a better chance of making a lot of money using this strategy here. For me, this is a good strategy, and if you want to copy this strategy, it's up to you. But for me, this strategy on a 1 minute time frame is something which gives me some profits from the market. Something that gives me some profit on the market. Let me zoom into a 15 time frame so you can check properly how I actually take my trades. So yeah, this is how I take my trades. Because I check on which direction is the market actually breaking, and then I take my trades. And most of the time I prefer taking the sells instead of the buys. Because eventually the market will go up and down. It will somehow give you the profits you need. So instead of complicating your life and taking buys and sells, consider on taking one thing. Consider on taking the sells. So yeah, that's it for now. This is Eddie, your FX Achiever Mentor. Catch me on the next one.